your partner in leadership excellence. Are you a leader struggling to inspire your team? Are you an organization seeking to improve productivity and growth? At HR with EM, we offer tailored solutions to address your leadership challenges. Our expertise includes leadership coaching, unlock your potential, leadership development, build a cohesive leadership team, HR consulting, optimize your organization's growth. Partner with us to enhance leadership skills, boost employee engagement, drive business growth, and improve organizational culture. Ready to unlock your leadership potential? Contact us today. HR with EM, empowering leaders, transforming organizations. Welcome to HR with EM, your partner in leadership excellence. Are you a leader struggling to inspire your team? Are you an organization seeking to improve productivity and growth? At HR with EM, we offer tailored solutions to address your leadership challenges. Our expertise includes leadership coaching, unlock your potential, leadership development, build a cohesive leadership team, HR consulting, optimize your organization's growth. Partner with us to enhance leadership skills, boost employee engagement, drive business growth, and improve organizational culture. Ready to unlock your leadership potential? Contact us today. HR with EM, empowering leaders, transforming organizations. Welcome to HR with EM, your partner in leadership excellence. Are you a leader struggling to inspire your team? Are you an organization seeking to improve productivity and growth? At HR with EM, we offer tailored solutions to address your leadership challenges. Our expertise includes leadership coaching, unlock your potential, leadership development, build a cohesive leadership team, HR consulting, optimize your organization's growth. Partner with us to enhance leadership skills, boost employee engagement, drive business growth, and improve organizational culture. Ready to unlock your leadership potential? Contact us today. HR with EM, empowering leaders, transforming organizations. Welcome to HR with EM, your partner in leadership excellence. Are you a
Hello, hello everyone. Welcome to this special LinkedIn Live event celebrating 9 years of HR with EM. It's incredible to reflect on this journey, and I want to take a moment to thank each of you that have joined, whether you've been here from the start or just recently joined. Your engagement, your insight and support have made this community what it is today. So I would like you to use the chat box, the comment box. You can leave your name and where you are joining from. I will be recognizing you shortly. So what started as a platform to share my thoughts on HR leadership and career development has grown into a space for learning, collaborations, and real impact. Over the past 9 years, I've coached professionals, consulted for organizations, and led initiatives that empower people to thrive in their careers and workplaces. So today, I want to share 9 key lessons that I've learned along the way. These lessons reflect not just my experiences, but also the wisdom from our discussions, challenges, and breakthroughs in the HR with EM community. So let's dive into what I want to share. The first key lesson for me, I will title it Embrace a Coaching Lifestyle. Okay, the first key lesson that I've learned over these 9 years, number one is embrace a coaching leadership style. Embrace a coaching leadership style. Leadership, like I've come to discover, is no longer about command and control. It's about coaching, guiding, and empowering your team. Over the years, I've seen the impact of leaders who develop their people rather than dictate to them. If you want to build a high-performing team, invest in coaching conversations, active listening, and continuous feedback. So the days where we command, control people is over. You want to get the best out of your people, coaching, guiding, and empowering the team is the key. So that's key lesson number one that I've learned over these 9 years. So there's need for you to embrace a coaching leadership style if you want to get the best out of your people. Now let's move to the key lesson number two. Key lesson number two for me is prioritize continuous career development. Prioritize continuous career development. The workplace is evolving fast, and the most successful professionals are those who commit to lifelong learning. So there's a saying that if you stop learning, you start dying. So there's need for you to prioritize your career development. Learn every day, learn something new. Today we have AI. There's need for you to learn something new every day. If you don't learn something new, you start becoming irrelevant. So whether it's through certifications, networking, or mentorship, you need to ensure that you are always growing. And another thing I want to share with us is that don't wait for your organization to develop you. You know, I've had situations where I have conversations with some people or professionals, and they say they are waiting. My organization is not sending me for training. I want to know what sort of budget the organization have for me for training. Don't wait for your organization to develop you, okay? Own your own career growth. Own your career growth. Don't let your organization, or don't depend only on your organization. Your organization will do this. I usually tell people, your organization will invest in developing you for the job that you are currently carrying out. They might not have a plan to give you some. If they do, then they will develop you for that particular higher role. But you need to own your own career growth, okay? So that's key lesson number two that I've learned over these 9 years. Prioritize continuous career development. Then key lesson number three is recognize the solitude in HR roles. So if you're in the HR role, there's need for you to recognize the solitude in HR role. HR can be a lonely role. So if you're in the HR profession, HR can be a lonely role. And if you recognize that early enough, it will help you to be able to know how to manage the challenges that you face, okay? So as an HR person, you handle confidential issues, navigate tough conversations, and sometimes you don't have a peer to turn to, okay? So one thing that I have learned that is one thing I've learned is the importance of building strong HR network. Do you have any HR network that you can run to? There are several HR communities on WhatsApp, on LinkedIn, on Facebook that you can run to. So find your tribe, connect with professionals who understand your challenges, and seek support from them when needed. Okay? So as an HR person, recognize the solitude in HR roles, okay? And how do you overcome that? Because it's a lonely job, get a strong HR network. So let's move to key lesson number four. Key lesson number four for me is understand the evolving role of HR. If you're in HR, you need to know that the HR role is now evolving. So understand the evolving role of HR. HR is no longer about hiring and firing. It is about being a strategic partner in business success. So you need to ask yourself, are you focused on just hiring and firing, or are you a strategic business partner? The modern HR leader drives culture, engagement, and innovation. If you are in HR, don't just focus on policies. Think about how you can influence strategy and make a lasting impact. Okay? So understand the evolving role of HR. HR is no longer just about hiring and firing. It's about being a strategic partner in business success. Okay? So the modern HR leader drives culture, like I said, drives engagement and drives innovation. Key lesson number 5 for me is there is need for you to network with intent. Be intentional when you want to network. Networking is not just about collecting business cards, collecting contacts. You know, you go to an event, you go to a conference, you collect business cards and collect contacts. It's about building relationships. Okay, it's not about collecting contacts, it's about building relationship. One of the biggest career lessons that I have learned is that who you know can open doors, but how you nurture those relationships determines your success. Let me take it again. So the lesson that I've learned, the biggest career lesson for me is that who you know can open doors, but how you nurture those relationships determines your success. So there's need for you to be intentional, add value, and stay in touch. Don't just collect. Add value to this relationship, okay? So there's need for you to nurture it. Key lesson number 6, bridge generational gaps in leadership. For organizations to thrive, we must bridge the gap between Gen Zs, millennials, Gen X, and boomers. So last week, I had a chat with HR professionals, and we were talking about generational gaps. How do we bridge that generational gap? So there's need for you to bridge generational gaps in leadership. Try to create an environment where you can bring all these generations together and get them to work together. Each generation, you need to know that each generation brings unique strengths, and leaders who embrace diversity of thoughts will build stronger teams. So I've also learned that empathy, flexibility, and adaptability are key to leading a multi-generational workforce. So if you want to succeed at leading multi-generational workforces, there's need for you to ensure that you are empathetic, you are flexible, and you are adaptable. So bridge generational gaps in leadership. So let's move on to key lesson number 7 that I've learned over these 9 years that I've been projecting this brand. Number 7 for me is invest in employee experience. Invest in employee experience. Employees are not just resources. You know, we say human resources. They are not just resources. They are not human resources. They are people. Employees are not resources. They are not just resources. They are people. When organizations prioritize employee experience, they see higher engagement, they see higher productivity, and they also see higher retention of these people. HR leaders, as HR leaders, we must focus on well-being, we must focus on inclusion, and also focus on career growth to create workplaces where people want to stay, okay? So that's our basic role as HR leaders. Let's focus on well-being, inclusion, career growth, and create workplaces where people want to stay, okay? Not that a workplace where you want to force people to stay. Let them willingly want to stay in that particular organization. So that's key lesson number 7 for me, and I've learned over these 9 years sharing about HR leadership and, you know. So key lesson number 8 for me is avoid desperation in job searches. So this is targeted at job seekers. So I have a lot of job seekers who follow me on LinkedIn and every other social media platform. Avoid desperation in job searches. Job searches, as we all know, can be very frustrating. But you need to also know that desperation leads to poor decisions. I take it again. Desperation leads to poor decisions. So over the years, I've coached professionals to be strategic in their job search, knowing their what, negotiating well, and choosing roles that align with their long-term goals. So I remember in one of the sessions that I did, it was a Q&A, and I talked about there is no job like any job. Sometimes I ask people, what sort of job are you looking for? Any job. I'm available for any. There is no job like any job. No job is titled any job. Okay? So there's need for you to ensure that you are very strategic in your job search. The right opportunity is worth the wait. So wait for the right opportunity and it will come knocking for you. That's key lesson for me, number 8. Now let's get to the 9th one. Key lesson number 9. Leverage social media for professional growth. So this morning, or this afternoon, I was having a chat with a professional colleague, and we're talking about social media. And I noticed the person is not very active on social media. So if you want to be visible, there's need for you to leverage social media. Okay? And what do you use it for? Use it for your professional growth. So I usually share a story with people that all the awards that I've ever received is based on what the organizers saw on my profile on LinkedIn. And most of the jobs that I've also gotten is based on what the recruiters saw on my LinkedIn profile. And that was what made them reach out to me. Almost all the speaking engagements, opportunities that have come my way is based on what those people were found on my LinkedIn page. Okay, so there's need for you to leverage social media for professional growth. Social media is not just for entertainment. Okay, that's something you need to do. It's not just for entertainment. It's a powerful tool for career advancement. Many of the opportunities for me that I've had, from speaking engagement to coaching clients, they all came from my consistent presence on LinkedIn. If you are not using social media to build your brand, I will encourage you to start today. Okay, so those are the 9 key lessons. So I'm just going to walk us through the lessons one more time. So the first one I talked about is embrace a coaching leadership style. Okay, that's key lesson number 1 for me. Key lesson number 2, prioritize continuous career development. Number 3, recognize the solitude in HR roles. And number 4, understand the evolving role of HR. Number 5, network with intent. And number 6, bridge generational gaps in leadership. Number 7, invest in employee experience. Number 8, avoid desperations in job searches. And number 9, leverage social media for professional growth. Okay, so now let's get into your questions. So if you have questions, it's an opportunity for you to also ask me questions. Ask me questions. I need you to drop those questions in the comments, and I will answer them. I will go through one by one and then answer as many as I can see. So I can see, let me see those who have left comments. I have Jared. Okay. Jared, let's see from the beginning. So I can see I am Fair Olua Oyedemi. Say you love this. I can't wait to learn more from you. Okay. Elizabeth Simeon, always inspiring. Please, I wish to participate in one of your live classes. Good job. So I hope, Elizabeth, you are watching live. Shonibare Solomon, you're joining from Lagos. Thank you for joining. And Jared, I can see that, okay, quite interesting conversation here. Jared is joining all the way from Kenya. Okay, so thank you, Jared. So do we have any question on what I've just shared, or any general question that you want to ask? This is an opportunity for you to ask the question. So I'll be looking at the comment. Let me check. I know I'm streaming live on YouTube as well. Let me check if there's any questions coming across from YouTube. Okay, let's see. Good. So some of you are watching on LinkedIn, others are watching on YouTube. Let's see if there are questions there. So use the comment section, drop your questions, and I would answer them. Let's get into your questions. If you have questions, shoot for it also. Ask me questions. I need you to drop those questions in the comments, and I will answer them. I will go through one by one and then answer as many as I can. So I can see, let me see those who have next comments. I have Jared. Okay, so let me recognize more people who I can see from the comment section. Oluchukwu Obiekwe, thank you for joining. I can see Oluchukwu. Where else can I see? Let's see. Okay, good. Okay, I can see Oluchukwu. I can see Adedolapo Olubi. Yes, you tend to have many enemies as HR, that's right. Effiong, thank you. You say you're joining from Lagos. Bismarck, I just came across your live session and I find it worth watching. Thanks so much. What advice would you give someone who is just starting out in HR? Okay, so I'm beginning to see the questions now. I think the questions are coming in. What advice would you give someone? Oops, that's a comment. What advice would you give someone who is just starting out in HR? So if you are just starting out in HR, my advice would be there's need for you to understand the rudiments, the foundation of HR, okay? If you are not yet a member of CIPM, I will encourage you to become a member of CIPM. CIPM will give you opportunity, one, to understand the fundamentals of HR, especially when you write the CIPM exam. So that's critical, right? Number two, find a network. So I've talked about HR network. There are several HR networks across the country that you can join. Find one and join. That will help you. And then look out for HR conferences. There are several of them, several HR events, virtual, physical. Some of them are even free. So you just need to find your way to that place and you'll be able to attend those. Then identify some notable HR leaders online. Try and connect with them. Read through. Let them be your mentor from afar. Okay. So that would be my advice for someone who is starting out in HR. Then I have a second question from Oladimeji Olusegun. Your question is, please, is it right for a candidate to write in order to know when to expect response for interview done after 1 week? So usually what I say is, if you have attended an interview, give the recruiters at least 2 weeks, okay? But immediately after the interview, I encourage you, if you have the contact of because you will have received an invite, right? So send a thank you message, and then you wait for 2 weeks. After 2 weeks, you don't hear from that organization. Maybe they are not ready to move on. But I expect that for everyone who has attended an interview, you should be able to get some form of response to know whether you're successful or not successful. The organization might not be able to send feedback to everyone who applied, but for everyone who they invited for an interview, they should be able to send the feedback to say, okay, you're successful or you're not successful. So after 2 weeks, yes, you can check up and check up with them to see if they're still considering you as a candidate for that particular role. Okay, so Oladimeji, I hope I've answered your question. So let me see, the next question I have here is from Ayafeoluwa Oyedemi. He said, how did you navigate early stages of HR career and what challenges did you face? Okay, how did I navigate the early stages of HR career? So for me, I talked about continuous development. There's need for you to invest in continuous development. So what I did was I kept reading and reading and reading and reading. Incidentally, for me, when I started my HR job, so the person who interviewed me, hired me, gave me a very big manual, okay? And I had to take 2 weeks to go through that particular manual. So it was like the HR manual for that organization. So I had to take 2 weeks to go just to understand what is in there so that when I'm looking for any policy or guidance on how to deal with a particular issue, I know the exact page to go to. So you need to read a lot. So I did read a lot. And then when I get stuck, I go out, seek out this person and ask questions for guidance. So read, I will encourage you to read. I will encourage you to have someone that you can always bounce ideas with, especially when you are new as an HR professional. So that was what I did, navigating the early stages. So I made some mistakes, but because I had someone who was always looking over my shoulder to ensure that they guide me to stay on the right path, on the right track, it helped me to be able to navigate those challenges. Now I have another question from Oluchukwu. Okay, let me see, Oluchukwu. It says, this is my first time joining a live session and it is what I need at this time. I'm a newbie in this field. In fact, I transitioned from agriculture to HR. So welcome, Oluchukwu. I also transitioned, okay? I was from admin to IT, from IT to HR, right? So, and the knowledge that you've acquired, there are certain skills that you've acquired from agriculture that will be relevant in HR. So there's no knowledge that is not relevant, that's not useful for you to use in HR. So I'm happy that you're finding this session interesting and exciting. Okay, so more questions. I can't see any other question. Let me refresh my screen. And let me also check, what do you call it now? Let me check. Let me check LinkedIn if there's any comment there. Let me check YouTube if there's any comment there, yes. Okay, Bismarck, you said, I just came across your live and I find it worth watching. Thanks so much. Okay. So if you would like me to continue these live sessions from time to time, please let me know in the chat, in the comment box, how often you would like me to hold live sessions like this, and we can work around it. Okay, so I think I've taken almost all the questions I can see here on LinkedIn. Please, is it right? Okay, so I think I've taken all the questions. Let me just check one more time on YouTube if there are questions. People, for those watching on YouTube, if they have any questions. Okay, so Shoni Barre, I think I've seen something from Shoni Barre now. Let me see, Shoni Barre seems to have a question. Let me see if I can get to it. Yeah. So Shoni Barre says, how did you navigate careers in the hospitality industry? There is common disrespect among staff. Okay, how did you navigate careers in the hospitality industry? There is common disrespect. Okay, so Shonibare, in terms of common disrespect amongst, I think it depends on the organization. It depends on the organization. The culture of the organization will determine whether people will be respectful or not. So the organization needs to determine the type of culture that they want to build, and that would enable people. When people have gone through some sort of training, depending on how they are recruited. So when you are recruiting, what kind of people are you recruiting into the establishment? That is very key. Because a lot of certain things that have the organization is allowing. If the organization allows I've not really had I've not had situation where it's common for all the staff to be disrespectful. I've not had such. So if discipline is maintained in that particular organization, you'll be able to correct all these challenges. So that's my answer to you, Shoni Barre Solomon. I think I've seen another question from Oluchukwu. He says, my question is in building HR network. I've notified a few top leaders in the field. I've reached out to them, but I didn't get a response. So I shield away. What would you advise? So don't expect to get a response from everybody. Okay, people are busy. Some of these people that you are reaching, they are very busy. But there are several HR networks. So I don't know which one you have reached out to. I can connect you to several other HR networks, and I believe they would listen to you. There are lots of them. For people who are new in HR, there are HR networks for them. For people